What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another prediction video. I do apologize. I meant for this to be out yesterday on the 30th. Between coaching and a couple of personal things I did not get to, so it is coming out today. So please give it a watch real quick. Share it to anyone that you know that does watch these videos. Shout out to my wife for this wonderful Portland jersey for an early birthday present. But let's go ahead and jump into these midweek games here. First up, we have Philadelphia Union versus Atlanta United. I'm excited that Atlanta did finally get a win. Unfortunately, it was a 3-2 comeback win against DC United, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, unfortunately. But currently, the Union are 3 wins and 2 losses in their last 5, and Atlanta are 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their last 5. Union, of course, are first in the table, and they are actually currently first in the power rankings. And Atlanta is 11th there in the East. Atlanta still have not kept a clean sheet in the last 5 matches, and they haven't won an away game in the last 12. And unfortunately, they are not going to win this game on the road at Subaru Park. Philadelphia Union are just too good. I don't think that they're going to win as bad as they have the last 2 games, 6-0 for both of them. However, it will be probably a 2 or 3-0 win for them, or like a 3-1. I'm going to go ahead and go with a 3-1, but yeah, definitely Philadelphia Union win this game. Moving on, we have Montreal versus New York Red Bulls. Currently, Montreal are 4 wins and a draw in the last 5, and the Red Bulls are 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their last 5. Currently, Montreal are sitting second in the East, and the Red Bull are 4th. Both of these teams split 12 wins against each other, and they have 3 draws against each other. So that's a pretty cool stat. And also, in their last 16 matches against each other, they have not drawn, which is also a pretty cool stat. So it's either a winner or loser. The last game was played in New York, and Montreal won 2-1. I do believe that, so Red Bull were very strong away, whereas Montreal is pretty good either way, but they are at home this game. I actually believe that this game is going to end up in a 2-2 draw there in Montreal. Next up, we have Columbus Crew versus Inter Miami. Columbus are currently 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in the last 5, and Inter Miami are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5. These two teams are both in the playoffs currently at 6th and 7th. Inter Miami 6th, Columbus Crew 7th. These two teams have only played each other twice, and they split wins. They're 1-1 against each other. And the last time that they played, Columbus Crew won at home 4-0, but that was back in 2001. Columbus Crew haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 5 matches, so that's pretty significant. So Miami are going to score, I think, in this game, but I believe that Columbus are going to be too strong at home for them to win. So I think this is going to be a 2-1 win for the Crew there at Lower.com Field. Next up, we have New England Revolution versus Chicago Fire. Currently, the Revs are 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in the last 5. Chicago are currently 1 win, a draw, and 3 losses in their last 5. Both of these teams are out of the playoffs currently. The Revs are sitting 9th in the table, where Chicago is sitting 13th in the table. The Revs still have a chance. They are only 2 points away from 7th place, but unfortunately Chicago is 30th, so they are 6 points away. So I think that at this point in time, we can safely say Chicago, unfortunately, will not be making the playoffs. I thought that they would. I was pushing for them. They went on a nice little win streak there, but unfortunately, they are not going to make the playoffs now. And Chicago have not scored in their last 2 matches, and they've lost their last 3, which you could take that from what I said. Both teams are currently on losing streaks, and the Revs are actually winless in the last 3. They have lost the last 2 and drew that 3rd game. So both teams struggling right now. I do believe, though, that this game's going to end in a 1-1 draw there at Gillette Stadium. I just don't think that there's a lot to separate these two teams. The Revs have been struggling also, so 1-1 draw at Gillette Stadium. Moving on, we have Orlando City versus Seattle Sounders. Currently, Orlando are 3 wins and 2 losses in the last 5, where Seattle are 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses in their last 5. These two teams have played each other 5 times. Seattle have won 4 of them, and they've drawn 1. So Orlando has not beaten Seattle. Orlando, though, have scored 6 goals in their last 5 games, and Seattle haven't won an away match in their last 6 games. So that's a pretty crazy stat to hear about Seattle Sounders. They have been struggling a lot this year. Currently, Orlando City set 5th in the table, and Seattle are 10th in the West there. They are 4 points away from that 7th position. I think Orlando's too good, and I think that Seattle, again, is struggling. And I believe that Orlando City will get this done at home at Explorer Stadium. I think that they might shut out the Sounders, and I'm going to go with a 2-0 victory for Orlando. Keeping this moving, we have Toronto FC versus LA Galaxy. Currently, Toronto are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in the last 5, and the LA Galaxy are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in the last 5. Currently, Toronto is set 10th in the table in the East there, and LA Galaxy are sitting in that 7th place with 37 points in the West. So both teams, well, no, not both teams. Toronto are actually 3 points away from that 7th position in the East. Toronto are unbeaten in the last 4 home games of theirs, so I think that they won't. I don't think that they'll keep that streak going. I think LA have too much to fight for, and they're trying to solidify that playoff spot. I think they have a better team than Toronto, so I actually believe that LA are going to go on the road to BMO Field and win this game 3-2 against Toronto. Now we're moving on to New York City FC versus DC United. Currently, New York City 1 win, 4 losses. Yes, they are struggling to score, in my opinion. They're struggling as a team. It's crazy how one man can be such a huge part in a team, because Castellanos is gone and they've struggled since. DC United currently are 1 draw and 4 losses. They're currently on a 4-game losing streak. New York are still in 3rd place there in the East, and DC United are last. New York haven't, New York City have won the previous 3 matches against DC United. DC United haven't won a match in the last 6 attempts, and they have lost their last 4. Like I said, I think that New York win this game. I think DC United's that bad, but at the same time, it's hard to say that, because I think New York City are struggling. Like I said, they did beat Chicago Fire, but that's a struggling Chicago Fire. But I believe that they'll win this game 1-0 against DC United. They're at actually Red Bull Arena, so they are playing at their rivals' facility there. Next up, we have Houston Dynamo versus LAFC. Currently, Houston are 1 draw, 4 losses in their last 5, which is unfortunate. And then LAFC are 3 wins and 2 losses. They are currently on a 2-game losing streak. However, they are 1st in the West, and Houston are 14th in the West. So it's 1st place against last place. Houston have not won a match in their last 6 attempts, and they haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 11. LAFC haven't lost to Houston Dynamo in the last 4 matches, 4 wins, 3 draws. I think that LAFC are going to win this game just because they're on a 2-game losing streak, and they need to get back into a winning way to build that confidence, because if they continue to lose, in my opinion, they will get knocked out pretty quickly in the playoffs. Yes, if they get the 1st place spot, they get that first bye, but I think Austin's coming for them. I think Austin wants that 1st place, and I think that they might get it. I want them to get it just because I think they play very well at home, and I think that Austin could win it all if they get that home field advantage. That's who I want to win in the West. I do not want LAFC to win the West there. I don't know why. Just not a fan. I think that everything that has happened this year with how stacked they are, they should be able to fly through anybody, and they should be killing people. And they're not. Yeah, they beat Charlotte 4 games ago, 5-0, but then last weekend they lost to Austin 4-1. Granted, Austin is a very good team this year. I like what they're doing there, but they shouldn't be losing that bad to someone. So with that being said, though, I think LAFC go into BBVA Stadium and win this game 3-1 pretty handedly. Now moving back to the East Coast, we have, well, not really the East Coast, but East. Nashville SC versus Colorado Rapids. Currently, Nashville are 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in the last 5, and Colorado are 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their last 5. Nashville are currently in a playoff spot at 5th place. Colorado are sitting outside that in 11th. That 11th spot is actually 5 points away from 7th. So I would say that Colorado at this point will not make the playoffs. With losing that bad to Philadelphia over the weekend, I still can't believe that. Nashville have turned it on these last 2 games, winning 4-0 and 3-0. So they've kept 2 clean sheets in a row. They are at home. I think that they'll get it done. These 2 teams have played against each other twice, and Nashville have won both times, both away and at home. But that home game was back in 2018 in the U.S. Open Cup, and that was at Nissan Stadium, so they are at Geodis Park this time. Nashville have scored 12 goals in their last 5 matches, and Colorado haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 7. I think, however, though, that Colorado will get on the board this game. I think that they will score, but I think that this game will end 3-1 for Nashville there at Geodis Park. Now, our second to last game, we have Austin FC versus Portland Timbers. Currently, Austin are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5. Portland are 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their last 5. Austin, of course, is currently sitting second in the table, and Timber are just outside the playoffs by 1 point with 36. Unfortunately, they're not going to get into a playoff spot in this game. I think, though, that they will get a point. I think that this is going to end in a 2-2 draw at Q2 Stadium. These 2 teams have split 2 games apiece in wins. They have not drawn against each other. And then Portland have won the last 2 matches against Austin, but both of those games have been in Portland. So I do believe Austin's coming off of a high, but I think that they will draw this game 2-2, like I said, even though Austin is trying to push to get that first place spot, but Portland's trying to, fight to get a playoff spot. So 2-2 there at Q2 Stadium. And our final game of the week, midweek, we have Real Salt Lake versus Minnesota United. Currently, Real Salt Lake are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in the last 5. Minnesota are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5. Minnesota are currently on a 3-game win streak. They are 3rd in the table. Real Salt Lake are 6th in the table. I think that both teams are clear of the playoffs, even though Real Salt Lake need to still fight for it because they are only 3 points, Timber are only 3 points away from getting into that 6th position. Minnesota United did win the last game 3-2, but they were in Minnesota. Real Salt Lake have not kept a clean sheet in the last 6 games, and neither has Minnesota. So both of these teams will score. However, I do believe that Real Salt Lake might win this one at home, and I think it's going to be a 3-2 win for Real Salt Lake. So that is it for the midweek. I apologize that the video did not come out yesterday. As you can probably hear my voice, that might be a little bit different. I've been yelling a lot. We've had 2 games in the last 2 days for the team that I coach and some other things going on. So I do apologize that it's coming out today of, the day of all the games. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you like the content. Join the Discord. The link is down below. And thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.